All right, recording now. Okay, so we're going to be looking at um, DM1 assignment 2, kind of working through stuff, and we're going to, excuse me, I'm going to open, kind of do what we did on the second week, which was kind of work through something together, and then we're going to be able to have the opportunity to ask questions. I think learning by doing is really good. And of course, this is the hour that the custodians clean the bathroom. I don't know, they're doing some loud thing. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but it's annoying me. So I needed to air my grievances. Okay, so we'll just kind of get into it then. Let's see. How do I want to do this? So yeah, like we did last time, I think I'm just going to work through it. And then if y'all want to ask questions as we go through, does that sound good to everyone? Lauren, Alex, that sound good to y'all?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Sounds good.
Sweet. Okay. Turn that up. All right. Let's share the screen. It's a Wednesday. Okay. So, oh, I gotta change that name. Oh, it didn't come in with the 2. That's sad. Okay. I'll have to reknit that. It's fine. And also, it's the wrong date. Wait, no, today's the 16th. Never mind, it's the right date. Nice. Okay. So, as usual, we're gonna bring in the Tidyverse library. That's something I noticed on the homeworks. And I'm preaching to the choir here with Lauren and Mason because we were working on this yesterday. But to anyone watching the video and to Alex, really important that we kind of, when we're structuring our scripts, you'll kind of see here, right? So this is actually, I actually made this data set. I'm kind of proud of it. Kind of merged together a bunch of stuff because I was looking at some stuff. But so as you can see here at the top, I import the libraries, and and Lauren did this really well, actually, so props to Lauren. But kind of doing this where you say, this is my thing, when I made it, when I last edited it. Maybe that's a little extra for this stuff, but I think it's a good practice. Mason and anyone who's out of Dirt class, it's kind of like his way of structuring notes. It's kind of like that, if you want to think of it like that. It's really helpful. So like having the clear lists, little call there, reading in the libraries, and then having the import. These 3 things are kind of really like cliche and like kind of typical, at least what I've seen. I do not speak for all, but I think it's a good practice to sort of just label this stuff. So yeah. And then we read in the data here. I just read it in from my downloads, which you can do, but you'll probably be reading it, I guess, in from your downloads too, because you'll be downloading it from the Canvas. So remembering that file structure thing, and I'm going to be working through this. So import libraries. Just one, but go, and then oh no. And then import, or yeah, read in data. Is everyone finding the files for this okay? Everyone doing good?
Doing dandy.
Sweet. I'm gonna clear my environment so you guys can't. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. I think I called it actually county voting. Yeah. So let's call it county voting. I mean, unless you've already come up with a name for it, it's kind of arbitrary, but I think that works. Read dot CSV. And then we put it in quotes. We do a little thing. Abby, if you're watching this video, I hope you are. Yours is going to be different. Yours is going to be the C because you're on Windows. What is the folder called? Oh, downloads. And then, oh, what was it called? Yeah. Sweet. Okay. So then let's, you can kind of take a look at it, or maybe you can view it. So we see here, it's always good to get a lay of the land, and that's why I think doing a ton of different data sets and a ton of different sort of things like this is really helpful, because it kind of starts to, you'll kind of get the motions of like what you're doing here. So it looks like we have states, every state by the looks of it, even Wyoming is here. And we have the county data as well, the FIPS, which is a numeric representation of the county. Like every county has, in every state has a unique FIPS number. Office, I think they're all, I know they're all for the presidency. You have the Democratic candidate, the Republican candidate, Green Party candidate, and other. Good old Ralph Nader. So yeah. So and then a reminder, we can also look at the structure. We can use the structure command. Look at the sort of technical structure, how R is interpreting, what each variable is called, what it is. You'll notice I put strings as factors equals true when I imported it, I think, in the sheet. That's going to make anything that's a string a factor. I mean, pretty self-explanatory, but a factor is something that has levels. So it's like an ordinal variable. If you are at that in 301 yet, I don't know if he's explained like variable types and stuff. Or you might just know what an ordinal variable, it's like an ordered, so it's like, I strongly agree, I somewhat agree, I neither agree nor disagree. It's kind of something with levels like that, where there's a hierarchy, right?
What is a string?
Or when I say string, I mean character. That's what I mean. Sorry. So another word for like a character type or something that's text in quotes like this, right? So if we assign this to X, right, and then type of is a function that lets us know what type of variable we're looking at. Structure does the same thing, right? If we look at the type of X, it says character, right? And so I think that's like that sort of vernacular of using strings like that is sort of coming over from other languages where you call something like this, something like quote, hi Mason, is a string of characters, right? So string, character type, that all just means words or like text. Like nothing, not something that's going to be interpreted by R as like an object type. So like if I try to like do it without quotes, right, it's going to be like, what's that? I don't know what that is, right? So yeah, get rid of that. Okay, so we've looked at the structure. We've done strings as factors. That doesn't really matter. I just put that in because I've started doing that in my other work, I guess. So I guess I did it by habit. But so first up, and you feel free to work ahead too, and then I'll kind of talk about it, and it'll be extra practice or whatever. So I guess I'll ask for questions. Anyone have questions so far?
Zach, I tried to get tidyverse imported, and it did not. It just gave me an error script saying that there's no package called tidyverse.
Yeah. So before you do anything, you need to yeah, and so that's common. So if you try and use a function that you haven't downloaded, it's not in base R, or the stats package, which also comes with base R, which is how we do like t-tests and stuff like that. The tidyverse is like something that was made by someone, and you have to download it, and they made it so that it's easy to be downloaded. So all you need to do is, if you're looking here in my console, install.packages, and then in quotes, type tidyverse, which is the name. And then R has this I'm not going to install it because I've already installed it. I don't want to break anything,
Yeah.
mess with anything. Or I guess it's just, okay, it just did it. Cool. So what this function does is it goes to CRAN, C-R-A-N, which is like the format for packages and like having these functions in them, and it downloads it for you. So do that, and then you would be able to hit library tidyverse, and it'll import the library. It'll enable it. So like,
Okay.
yeah. So if we see here, you go to the packages screen. Let's go down to tidyverse. Yeah, so you can uncheck it. So I've detached it, and then by typing in library, if I can spell, library tidyverse. So notice now tidyverse is unchecked, but by typing in tidyverse and running that library command, it check marks it for me. You see how that works, Alex?
Wait a minute. So, give me 1 second.
Mhm.
That one. So when you detach that, did you have to do that with the ggplot2?
No.
Okay,
Oh,
never mind.
wait.
I'll ask you that later.
So yeah, so ggplot is like part of tidyverse. So when you bring in tidyverse, you're bringing in ggplot and then all of the other packages. If you notice on the Canvas page, I put a little cute picture. So this is the tidyverse. So this is all of the packages within tidyverse, right? It's a
Okay.
suite of packages. It's a group of packages. So we have ggplot2 right here, but then we also have dplyr, which is a lot of what we're using for manipulation right now. And then there are a bunch of other ones, but we're not going to concern ourselves with those right now. It's just easiest to just bring in the tidyverse always.
Okay, the only reason I ask is because when I downloaded ggplot2, it had a non-zero exit status, and I wasn't sure if anyone else was getting that.
When you did the install.packages thing,
Mm-hmm.
did you put it in quotes?
Yeah.
I can maybe try and workshop that with you later, if that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a big deal. I just wanted to make sure, like, if I was missing a certain function. Oh, whoa. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting that with the tidyverse as well. It had a non-zero exit status, so I can't even.
Are you running precisely this?
The R suite, yeah.
The install.packages thing.
Yeah.
Why don't you show me?
Sure. This is what's happening, and this is what I have here. And I keep getting a non-zero exit status on everything, which is what happened earlier today when I was working on a few things with another professor.
All right. Why don't you stop that thing that's running right now? So hit that stop sign, yes. Because it looks like it's trying to install Broom. So why don't you instead... Okay. Yeah. Terminate that. I actually had a similar issue when I was trying to do... Why don't you just exit out of RStudio? And actually, I would like to work through the worksheet here, and I can maybe help you with this after. If
Later.
it's okay, Alex.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will stop sharing.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So just follow along. Oh, I stopped my video. Okay. Yeah, just follow along, Alex, and we'll figure that out later. Okay. So Lauren and Mason, I don't know where you are now, but I'm just gonna. Oh, not that. Where? Okay. So we're just gonna keep going through. So now the exercise asks for you to just look at Iowa as it is the best state. And let's also arrange the data so it goes from past to future and from highest to lowest for total votes cast in the county. So our total votes column is recording the total amount of votes recorded in each county. So we're going to, and I think it says, yeah, so you'll make a new data frame here as well. So let's call it like Iowa voting, or if you've called it something else at this point, that's fine. So we'll take county voting. I'm going to pipe. We're going to filter so that state is equal, double equal to make it strictly equal to, right? IA. Or you could do, no, I guess I'm looking at state, not state PO, because there's the like abbreviation and the regular one. So, but both of them work the same. So run that. Yeah, run that. And so let's look at Iowa voting. Looks like that worked. We just have Iowa for state, which is cool. So notice how just doing that works by itself, right? But we can do other things too, right? So like it's this idea of chaining these things together. You know what I mean? So then, and then, right? We're thinking of this piping operator as right, and then we can arrange. And we said we wanted it to go from past to future, so from 2000 to 2016, going up to down, right? So we would make it descending. I think it's year. Yeah. Right. So now we've done both things. Oh wait, no, we want it to not be descending. My bad. So yeah, now it's going from 2000 up, right? Oh, but then we also wanted it to be from highest to lowest total votes, right? And so we can arrange by multiple things. So it's going to arrange by year first and then total votes, right? So you'll see. Sorry, go ahead, Mason.
Yeah, I have a question about this, because so if you want the year to be going from low value to high value, but you want total votes to be going from high to low, then if you just add like a comma and then descending equals true, you can use. Oh, yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah, you wrap it like that. Yeah. And yeah, I meant to put that. Yeah, so makes sense. We have Polk County, Lynn County, and then Scott, kind of going down. And then we have 2000, and it goes to, you got to scroll through 99. Right, 99 counties? Yeah. But there's 3 for each value, or there's 4 for each value, right? Because we have Democrat, Republican, Green, NA. Or, yeah, parties NA for that one, but we have other, right? So, yeah, so that's exercise 1. Yay, we did it. Exercise 2. Right, that was all exercise, yeah. So now make a vote share percentage variables in each county. So I probably worded this poorly. Yeah, I did word this poorly. Make a vote share percentage variable, not variables, just variable. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, we're gonna use mutate for this.
Wait, I'm sorry. What are you looking for this one?
So like a vote share percentage
for each candidate,
for each county. Like so. Yeah. So Iowa. So, and we want, so we're, and this is another sort of important distinction that I think we need to make. So when we're trying to make changes to a data set, which we are often trying to do, as you like, for making this, I took this raw sort of stuff and I needed to merge stuff and like change it. And every time I did so, I kind of named it a new thing. Either if I just want to change the base thing that I have, which in this case is kind of county voting with all the counties from all the states. And then I have the subset of kind of a subset of that, which is Iowa, just Iowa. It's a data frame of just Iowa. And then I'm wanting to add to this. So in doing so, I'm going to assign Iowa voting, but then I'm going to do sort of some changes to it, right? So like I'm assigning the changed Iowa voting to Iowa voting, thereby updating what Iowa voting is representing. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Thank you, Mason.
And just in case you do something,
Yes, it does.
wrong is why you should make a new object, because you don't want to permanently delete stuff and then have to reload it.
Yeah. So like if I had overwritten county voting with this, then it's no longer all the counties of all the states. It's just Iowa, and I've lost that. I mean, I can re-import it, but as far as like if I'm going to run the whole script and kind of work on this iteratively, it's a lot more helpful to have different ones. And then, but then also there are occasions like here where we're going to make a new variable where it doesn't make sense to make a whole new one just with the same data set, but added a variable, you know what I mean? So I guess the rule of thumb then, and maybe a way to think about it is if you're going to take away from something, maybe make a new thing, you know, like a subset data frame. But if you're going to add to it, it's probably okay to just keep the same name, you know? I mean, and then there are always exceptions, you know what I mean? But that might be a good rule of thumb to think about. Yeah, so let's make this vote share variable. So vote share, and then here we use the equal sign kind of to make the new variable, and then we can sort of, and generally using mutate to make new variables means we're going to be manipulating variables we already have. So each observation line sort of has, you know, a value for each of these columns, right? By definition of like what a data frame is, or, you know, like a table type thing. And so it's kind of like if you've used Excel and you like do the thing where you put a function in one line and it's sort of like using cells from that row, and then you drag it down and it applies it to all rows. That's kind of what's going on with the mutate function, except we don't speak about Excel in this household. I hate Excel. But so we have candidate votes and total votes. So it makes, so if we're going to try and find the proportion of candidate votes, you know, right, we just divide candidate votes by total votes to find the vote share, right? The percentage vote share. And that's going to do that because, as we can see here, groups of four, right? Because we have four candidates in each, you know, kind of group of four for the Democrat, Republican, Green Party, and other. They might do, I feel like Libertarian. Like, I feel like Gary Johnson got more, I feel like he definitely got more votes than Jill Stein did. So,
McMullen also got more votes than Jill Stein did in Iowa.
There you go. Yeah. I think, yeah, they just have an other category for this. And that's kind of something that's up to whoever made the data set, or in this case, me. But I mean, like, I don't think I didn't make that, but I didn't make it. I just kind of brought it together and merged it with some other things. But so let's do candidate votes. If I can spell. Candidate votes divided by, right? And so this, because we're working within the Iowa voting and we use this pipe operator, so we're looking at Iowa voting and then we're going to do something. It knows we're talking about this, so I can just say candidate votes and it knows what I'm talking about. Does that kind of make sense how that works?
Yes.
Okay, and then we can divide by total votes, right? We run that, and then we check out our data. Oh, look at that. And I'm pretty sure 89,715 divided by 174,167 is like 0.51. Pretty sure that's right. I don't know. The computer did it for me. So yeah, so now we have, look at that. Just with that little line, we've calculated the percentage vote share for every county in Iowa, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So that's all. That's exercise 2. Very cool. Moving on. Exercise 3.
I have a question real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's saying the candidate votes isn't found, is that because I am not putting like, I don't know. It's just saying object candidate votes not found.
Could you share your screen? Because
Yeah.
it's hard for me to know what's going on. Okay. Yeah, so on line 11, it looks like you call Iowa voting capital I, Iowa voting. And so then when you're talking
Okay.
about it on line 16 after the assignment operator, you have lowercase Iowa voting. So it doesn't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that'll fit.
Okay.
And you're going to need to run line 11 first before you do it because you're going to need to update it in your, So run that. Well, run the whole block, kind of. You might even just need to rerun the whole script, which is so. If you click on the and go Command A, and then run. Interesting. Candidate votes. Okay. Did you? Iowa voting. Oh yeah, you need to. So on line 13, you need to add an additional. Yeah, so every open parenthesis needs to have a closed parenthesis to match. So add a parenthesis at the end of line 13. Yeah, and there that worked. So now run. Now you should be able to run line 16, or just run all of it. Yeah, that works too.
Okay.
There we go.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and I would clear or remove the capital I. So with that RM parenthesis, so do RM parenthesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get rid of that capital I, Iowa voting object, just for keeping it clean. Yeah. And then run that. Yeah. Sweet. And then,
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Thank you.
Back at it. Yeah, no problem. Exercise 3. Yeah, so it looks like there's some mundane variables. So we're gonna so let's get rid of these variables, right? So like if we look here, state, well, did I say state? Yeah, so state is pretty mundane, right? Because they're all Iowa and all the state sort of abbreviation is all Iowa. Every office is president. It's all the same version of the survey and all of that. So we're going to get rid of those variables, and we're going to do so using the select thing, right? So we use select to pick what variables we want to keep. So if we are making a different subset and we only want particular variables in that, say this vote share variable was a lot harder to make, and it's kind of something we want to be looked at separately, and we want the person, like I ran a model that took like 5 hours to run or something, and it gave me these theta values, and I put that in a column, but then I reduced the data set down so I just had the thetas when I sent it to the person who was going to work on the next step, right? Because that's just kind of how workflow goes. And it, whether you experience that or not, it's still a good practice to sort of bring down data sets when you have mundane variables that don't mean anything. It's just kind of cluttering this. So we're going to select some things. So, and then so I need to remind myself which ones we're getting rid of. So state PO and state. So we're going to keep year, right? So we're picking the ones here that we're going to keep. We're not nullifying the ones we don't want. We're going to keep the one, type out the ones we want to keep. And then we can do, well, here, so we're going to keep county, keep year. Oh, we already talked about year. What was the other one? FIPS. We want to keep FIPS. Getting rid of office. We want to keep candidate, party, candidate votes, and total votes. So we can do candidate through : total votes, so that we don't have to type it all out. Candidate through total votes. And then vote share. We want to keep that vote share. We worked really hard to make that variable. There we go. Yeah. So yeah. So now if we look at the data set, a lot cleaner, a lot nicer to look at. We might not even need FIPS, but we might use that for something later. I mean, you could get rid of it, It's kind of.
What is it?
FIPS. Are you asking what FIPS is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like every county has a FIPS number. So like Polk County has a unique FIPS number. Because there are I think there are some repeat county names throughout the U.S.
Yeah,
so
it's just Washington's.
Yeah, kind of keeps it something that is super unique. So yeah.
There are 10 Clinton counties.
Are there really 10? Oh, internet. You said there are 10 Clinton counties, Mason?
Yes.
Okay. Your internet cut out for a second there. It's all good though. Yeah, so then the last exercise is either easy or not easy, depending on your sort of familiarity and comfort with the chain thing or the pipe operator, which is really important. Yeah, so can we do all of the previous exercises in one chain, right? So can we do all of this stuff all in one block that's going to run all at the same time? Spoiler, the answer is yes.
I would like to try this one on my own, if that's okay.
Okay, I think I'm going to end things after I'm done with this, so you can just boogie if you wanted to.
All right, cool. Thank you. This is cool. Yeah. And then this is not the homework, right? That's separate.
No, yeah, I'm going to make another sort of assignment for next week, and then we're going to get to merging, which is super fun. So
all right, that's exciting.
Next week is merging.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks, Mason.
Tally ho.
Lauren and Alex, I'm just going to go through this for y'all and for the video. So I'm going to just show. So really, I can just copy and paste this first bit, right? So this is the same as exercise 1 thus far. But then we're just going to chain on what we did in exercise 2, right? So copy and paste that. And then we're just going to chain on what we did in exercise 3, right? I mean, it's kind of that simple. You can really just add on as much as you want. Like you'll see here, I do a ton. There are other ones where I do a lot. I'm doing like a little if-else thing here, but yeah. So you can do theoretically as many of these in a row as you want, and that can be really useful if you kind of want all of the data prep, all of the sort of manipulation and like preparation for the analysis to all be in just one go, because it runs really quick that way. So if we re-import the data, well, actually, let's clear our thing, right? And we're going to show that it does the same thing as it does up there. And so there you go, right? So we've got the vote share variable like we calculated before. We've got it in order of year. We've got just Iowa. We got rid of those variables we didn't need. Well, I guess presumably we have just Iowa. These are all Iowan counties, I'm pretty sure. So, but because we got rid of the Iowa or the state name variable, which maybe we wouldn't want to do if we wanted to check our work. But what's important to notice is the functionality of being able to chain all these together and think of this as and then, right? So we come up with a new name. We have the sort of main data set that we imported in, and then we filter out. So it's the state variable, the only values of state are Iowa that so we're filtering out all other values of the variable state, right? Then we're going to arrange it in ascending order by year and descending order from total votes. So we're starting ascending. So we're starting in 2000 and going to 2016 as we go down. And then the opposite, we're descending with total votes. So we start with the highest in poll county and go all the way to the bottom, which I think is Adair as the least. I don't know what the least populous county is. Then we mutate, we make a new variable. We call it vote share, and we do that within the mutate thing. And then this is the sort of operation that gives us that new variable. And then we select the variables that we want to keep. And that kind of gets rid of the ones we don't want to keep. So yeah, I think this is a pretty, kind of, we got all things sort of accounted for here. So are there any questions? You too?
No, I like that data set.
Yeah, it's really nice. Very, very political science. Very political science.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So yeah, if there are no questions, I'm gonna go ahead and end here. I will be releasing, as I mentioned kind of before, I will be releasing maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow night. I have a homework due at 5 p.m. here that I'm kind of stressing about, but maybe after that I'll have the mental energy to make a new assignment with a new data set, hopefully. Because I think, yeah, like I said before, kind of getting practice on several different data sets is really good. So one last call for questions.
I'm good.
To help me afterwards.
Alex, if it's cool, like I mentioned, I have a homework. I could help you after 5 if that's cool. If you're available.
I'll be available until about 6:50 or so, but I will be available after 5.
Okay, sweet. Then let's shoot for that time because I got to finish up a homework here. So, yeah, no problem. Have a good rest of your day, y'all, and I'll see you later, Alex.